Do with them as you want.
Thank you. Put them with the rest.
You can't hide the nameplates.
Don't expect me to get the rest.
One second. There we go. That's far better. I think this is one of the few places I can't really get someone in.
I'm gonna be in my head for just 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So now we're just waiting on the king to come back, or the king to come back and Arundel to wake up.
I'm on it, Endo. Shut up, AS.
He should be up soon, I get the feeling.
Wait, you can just poke his hip. I'm sure he'll jump right up.
I'm sure he'll sock you right in your shoulder.
Very good point. Followed by a chain reaction of everyone hitting everyone.
Because that would go well.
Are you hungry?
Yes, actually, I was.
Delicious.
It was alright.
Did you bring some for the rest of us?
If you need some, I have some. I don't have much. I have some.
Nah, I'm fine. I just want to mess with you.
Mm-hmm. Next time you eat something, I'll make sure you brought enough for the rest of the class.
Do I have something to eat?
That wasn't me.
And did you bring enough to share, Eos?
Remember?
There he is.
See, told you it wouldn't be too long. Now he's just got to get back into, you know.
Now, if this wasn't a serious matter, I'd say we all should stand behind him. But no time for the playfulness.
Shouldn't Nyla be saying that, Chair?
True enough. Are you amongst us, Arundel?
Because she's the heir.
Where are you going? You sitting over there? Alright. Alright then. Arendelle, you called this meeting, didn't you?
I did at one moment.
Well then, why don't you bring forward what it is you have to bring forward? We'll start with you.
Well, in the last days, the elders had a lot of discussion on each other, and it seems like we started to lose focus on the main points we had here. Also, with the thing I brought up yesterday, with you and the half-breed, it kind of splitted us, and that shouldn't be the reason. That is the point one, what I wanted to bring up. In the end, we have to fight a war in a couple of days, and that should be all our main goal. Though, in certain circumstances, I got information today, which are very disturbing, and that's why I brought up the council meeting once more. The Lady Steward spoke to me today, and she told me that Soleria went to the humans, speaking that we're having an ill king, and asking for their help. Is this correct, Soleria?
I did not say he was ill, nor did I say I required their help.
Why did you went to the humans, bringing elderly business to them and not to us?
I did not. I went to them to talk about the attack that happened yesterday.
So you're saying the Lady Steward was lying to me?
Perhaps.
That is interesting. I don't know why she should lie to me. I don't know why she brought up your name.
Neither do I, considering I went there with a good faith offering because they needed an herbalist to bring Halimar back.
Did you speak to the Lady Steward directly?
Yes, when she arrived here today, I had a private word with her.
No,
I started
sorry,
questioning
that's the lady.
her.
When she
Oh,
was in Gondor.
apologies.
That's quite a confusion in the statement.
Originally, I spoke with the Lord Steward as well as the commander of their guard. The Lady Steward attended later.
So you never directly spoke with her?
Did, but she came halfway through.
And you're saying your only business there was to offering an herbalist?
Like I said, to offer an herbalist and figure out what happened during the attack yesterday.
Regardless, you brought up elder business in front of guests, outside in front of me today. What's your
I did
excuse
not.
for that? Business of the council is to be stay in the council.
And I already told you, as did Phelan, I was not the one to bring up this business. It was Nyla. I was simply asking Phelan how she fared and how her wounds were treating her. I was asking if she needed help. She is the one that brought up the marriage. She is the one that questioned me about it. Your sister is the one who informed her of it.
I wish I actually stayed to listen in on that.
And what did you say to Phelan about the marriage?
I said that is not our way. That is not the way of our people. That I did not fully enjoy the idea of it. But then Nestor was there. And he
She does
heard
have a point on that,
everything else.
actually.
So he can tell you exactly what I said.
Alright, I'm done beating around the bush. I saw the note that you gave to Arendelle, and I have my own information. What is it that you're plotting?
Nothing. I
Don't
simply
lie to
would
me.
want- I simply want what is best for the people here. I have no plots, and I have already said that I have no intentions of putting anyone else on their seat but you.
Then
But
why
I
are
do
you
believe you're being ruled by... What?
Why are you causing dissension amongst the ranks?
I am not.
Why does the Lady Steward know that the true king still lives?
I did
In
not
your
know that
words,
was
the true
hidden
king.
information. And I never said the true king, I said the former king.
So you told her about the former king.
I did. She asked.
So
You
it
wish
was
me to
not
keep
just
information
about the
secret?
herbalist business.
No, I said that is what I went there for. I spoke to her a great deal of many things. I spoke about the marriage, because that was something they already knew. And I spoke about the true king. He is not a hidden topic, he is not a hidden person.
Regardless, that should have been brought before the Elder Council before bringing it up to anyone else.
What? What should have been brought? The information
That
that
the
our former
former
king still
king is
lives.
still awake?
I do not know where he is. I do not know how he fares. All I know is that after Rivendell, he did get better.
It is very confusing to me. Yesterday, when you told me about this information, you made a very great deal out of it, that it should stay in secret. And though you're going to the humans telling about the former king.
I did not make any deal about it being secret. I said that they do not wish to be found, as far as I know.
Wasn't it you who told me it's not the right place to speak to here, and if I want to more information, I should seek you in your chambers?
Yes, because it is not the information that the common elves need to hear, because if they were to hear that the former king still lived, what do you think
So
they
you
would
put
do
the
then?
humans over the elves, is this right?
RK05, thank you for the follow
After
Then why
welcome
telling the
positions of
humans
to the
power
night
that
crew.
ask over elves. And if any elf, any commoner down in this village were to ask me about the former king, I would tell them freely and openly. Whatever they wish to know. I do not hide things.
Why are you causing dissension in the kingdom when you were one of the people who put me on this throne?
I have already told you that I am not causing dissension. I am not trying to put anyone else on the throne. I have said this many a times to many a people. But I also do think that you have been blinded recently by your emotions. You are making quick, hasty decisions.
The king personally came to me today and apologized for what happened yesterday.
And he has not apologized to me. He
He
has not
stood-
apologized to anyone else that I know of.
He stood to his word. He said he acted irrational, he acted out of anger, and it will not happen again.
Well, then that's good to
We
know,
should
and
stand
you have
to
let me know
our
it
king
before.
and not bring up more problems.
I'm not bringing up any issue. I'm merely stating that I do not agree with the decisions that he made yesterday.
You do know that you brought up more problems because the Lady Steward knows that there are troubles under us.
I told the Lady Steward that there were no issues among any of the elves in this kingdom. But I do not know what she has been whispering to you.
She told me straight away, if there are any troubles under us, it will be better if we not fight against them on their side. And I had to assure her that our army will not be affected, whatever happens in the Elder Council. She knows way too much what's going on here, and I'm kinda questioning it where she knows it from.
Well, I am not the one to tell her. I told her that she can still expect our help as far as I know as well. I told her that our decision had not changed.
I don't believe her.
Going to the humans, talking about this business was the wrong move, Zaleria.
I did not talk about this business with the humans. They asked if they could still expect the support of our armies after you and the stallion were attacked, and I said yes.
Regardless, bringing up the former king, who had
Is he
to
a
step
secret?
away from his duties, no, but it
He
will
was
cause enough
ill.
dissension amongst our ranks, and we don't have time for that.
And why
When
would
I
it
was
cause
voted onto this
dissension?
throne, it made my line the royal line. Regardless of what sat here before, I sit the throne. And unless
And who
I'm
were you
dead,
voted by?
the people.
Who?
And when they made that decision, I was made king.
And do you not remember who stood before you and made that decision? The 3 elves that were there? 3 of many.
Why don't you tell me how many there were then? And why don't you tell me where you went when all of the troubles started? You disappeared. We fought a war. Where were you?
I was fighting my own battles. I already fought orcs.
I think everyone in this room has fought orcs.
Our former king should not be a secret. He should not be something that is whispered about in dark corners. He should not be something that is kept from the public eye. There would be no
It's not
dissension
something
if
that
there
should
is
be
no
brought up in a
issue.
time of war. We do not have time
It's
for
been brought up
dissension.
before the time
and
of war. It's not going to
worries.
cause dissension if there were no issues within the people. If you're worried about dissension, then maybe there is an issue, and maybe it should be handled by all of us here. Dissension only comes if people do not agree with their king. And so far, nobody seems to have issue except for what was said yesterday.
And it has been dealt with. I accepted a mark upon my personal life that I didn't have to. You all swore to follow me, my word, my law, my choices. I listened to you because I respect you as the leaders I selected.
And yet you punish us.
What punishment has been meted out?
You said
I
it yourself
apologize for
as
what I
punishment.
said.
And I already said that that is fine and good to know. You have not apologized to me. You have not spoken to me.
That's because every time you see me, you turn your nose up or run away.
I stand in the same spot and continue to stare and wait for you to say something. I have not once run.
This has to stop.
He is acting as though the former king is something to be hidden.
It is not something to be hidden, but if people think that someone of a former royal line is still alive, do you not understand the implications of that? Regardless of if I sit this throne or not, and my line is the royal line, there will still be those that believe the former line should sit where I sit. I don't have time, and the kingdom doesn't have time, for such petty things. At this time, we should be preparing for a war.
A war which last night you said you did not even want to send your people to.
Because I don't, but I'm going to because I said I would.
And you said, why should I? So forgive me if I have a bit of issue with the things that you've been saying as of late.
You need to remember your oaths. You swore them, did you not?
I swore them to my king.
And your
am
king
the
is sitting here right now.
Are you stating that I'm not your king then? Is that what you say?
I am not, but I'm saying that whoever rules the people is my king. Right now, you are my king.
Right now.
But should you continue to make decisions that are rash and hasty and get our people killed, injured, and worse.
She
I
already
do not
fucked up.
think I could live with myself to continue following under someone like that.
Tell
I
me
am not
this,
saying that
what
you were like
decision
that or
have I
anyone.
made that has
Let me
gotten
speak
our
too.
people harm?
You said we were going to march into Mordor.
Perhaps we shall. I feel as though we have been on the back foot all of this time with the orcs. Is it not good enough to want to go and met out our own aggression, or are we going to cower amongst the trees like children?
With a war coming, we should not be focusing on marching into Mordor. We should be focusing on
I had
having
no
war
intention of marching into Mordor before the war. Do not twist my words to suit you.
I am not, but you did not make your intentions clear. You did not say neither before nor after.
I do not have to elaborate everything I say.
No, you don't. But you have to be careful with what you say, and you have not been careful recently.
That doesn't bring us anywhere. Right now.
My interests are with the people, and that is how they will remain.
So are ours.
I have done everything I could since I was placed in this position. I did not want for the betterment of our people.
As such, I have had no issue with you until late.
You forced yourselves into my personal life. I had very much a reason to
And
be
Nostalgia
upset
and I
last night.
spoke about it.
And yes,
Yes,
I may have said something that was with anger. And yes, I may have done something. But if either of the people who I made orders to, or well, made a suggestion to, come to me and said that they do not want this,
It's true, they didn't go to him and say they don't want it. They just follow orders.
these are not the only
This
orders
isn't
I
the
speak
matter
of.
for this. This is a private matter on that subject. There's
It
not need
is.
to be discussed here.
And as for your personal life, there are other things you could have done.
yes, I could have said you can all rot in hell and I'll do as I want, but I respected the people I have selected as my elders. I respected their decision on what they believed was best for the kingdom, and I took a hurt upon myself to do what they wanted.
You did not need to,
No, I did not.
and
But
you
I
could have done
said,
it without making her queen. If she is the one you are bonded to, then bond with her. Do not name her queen. Do not give her the position. She will not rule over the people, and you shall continue to do so, but you can be happy with her.
Should
There are
that
other
really be the
decisions that can be
topic
made.
now with the upcoming war?
He is the one that brought it up. I am telling him that there are other decisions that he can consider.
I'm very well aware of what I can do and can't do. But I also know what I have to do, and one of these things I had to secure because of it. That is the reason I asked Nostalgian to marry my little sister. I'm securing my line, because at the moment, my heir is my sister.
I know, right?
And your sister
And by
is
doing
a
that,
child.
yes, and I'm placing the person, if he so accepts, that I trust most to rule this kingdom when I go, in a position to do such. I'm securing the kingdom.
And you could just make Nostalgian your heir. You do not need to bind them together for the rest of their lives, for forever, for eternity. Because if they find the ones that they are supposed to be bonded with, then they are stuck in a marriage that they cannot get out of. Forgive me
Then
for
why do
wanting
you
the best
care
for those
so
I care
much?
for.
Their lives are not yours.
No, but they are people that I consider friends and family.
Are either of them unhappy? You're the one running around telling my younger
Yes.
sister that she should go have a dalliance with the fucking human, after you tell me to break it off with a half-elf.
I told
What
her
does
to
that
do
mean?
what makes her happy. If the human does not make her happy, then great.
You didn't hear me. Said that.
What was
Nyla
that?
here. Quite quiet.
You need to speak longer.
Makes me happy.
It is fine if he wants. If he is who makes you happy, that's fine. But you do not seem happy, and you claimed other things when we spoke in private.
And still, this is not your business.
It is my business because it is not the ways of our people, and I will not have our ways being tarnished because of anger.
So you go and mingle yourselves into the lives of others, as you say I did, by corrupting them and twisting them to your way of thinking, do you not?
My way of thinking, or the elven way of thinking, the way that our people have thought for years, the way that has been passed out through generations.
You think I do
upon
not
generations.
know? I have
do
seen
not speak
generations
secretly.
die, woman. Don't test me.
Damn.
Then why would you force a marriage when a marriage is to be made out of love, a bond pure and untouchable by everything?
Did you both agree to it?
Does not matter because they both feel entitled, because they both feel that they are responsible. If they were happy together, then they will still be happy together in the years to come. If they were bonded to each other, they will still be bonded to each other in the years to come. All I am asking is that you do not hastily make a marriage so soon. And give them time.
I want that the bloodline is secured.
Yeah.
Nestor can secure the bloodline himself, too.
One way or the other, this topic has to disappear from this table by tonight.
There. That's what your bloodlines will be worth if we don't focus on the war. And Mirkwood will share a similar fate, and just be just as easily to put back together. Shouldn't we be focusing on that? With allies we can trust?
If we can't trust those standing to our left and right, how are we supposed to trust those that are supposed to be allies that we do not know as well?
Faith. It's the only thing we can trust them with. Because we don't have a choice.
The humans are like children, yes. But they are what keep the orcs from coming to Mirkwood, so they need all the help that we can spare.
You shouldn't have spoken to the humans about this topic in this time. It was a mistake.
There was no mistakes made. As I said, I went there to speak about the issue that happened yesterday. And the herbalist.
And you caused our
If
allies
you
to fear there was dissent within our ranks.
If you see the
That is
humans
their
as
own issue,
childs,
because I gave them
you
no reason.
exactly know how they would have reacted to this topic. So why did you still bring it up?
Because they have a right to know as our allies.
There's
I
a
did
war
not
to
bring
fight.
up any topic. That's what I'm saying. I went there talking about herbalists, talking about the issue yesterday. They are the ones
Talking
that brought
about the
up
former
king.
king. Talking about the former king still alive.
And
Bringing up trouble.
I refuse to keep him a secret. I refuse to not talk about him. Have any of you ever even met him?
No, I didn't.
No,
And
nor
still
do
I saw
care.
how the humans reacted today.
Elven business is elven business. It does not involve the humans.
Should
They do not
always
need to
be
know.
this way.
They already knew that there was a former king. They said it themselves.
Then talk about it once
The end
we've
of
won
the matter
war.
right now. The end of the matter right now is that the humans are very concerned. And that doesn't help the war.
And it is not from anything that I said, because I assured them that everything was fine.
The ladies.
Except
steward said
instead
yes.
of talking
Are you
about
going
the
to trust the
war
word of a
and the
human over me?
possibility of losing that war, you brought up something else.
Since you
Which
went
means
there,
the
I
importance
don't
of
even
the
know
war
what I should think
is
of
dwarfed
it.
by what you were
Quiet!
talking about.
Eos, make your statement. No one else speak until he is done. Then we will continue. I will not have everyone speaking over each other at this table. Begin.
By bringing up any other topic other than the war, you've dwarfed the importance of the war and brought their minds on other things. How good of an ally are we? Are we strong enough to be their ally? Is there a possibility that there could be a revolution amongst us before the war, thus weakening their defenses? It brings questions about how well we can help them, and in turn makes them question our alliance.
And yet that's
Talk
what no
about
one
that
seems to be
after the war has been
understanding.
won.
I went to there speaking them about the war, speaking to them about the orcs, speaking about how I may aid them, which they requested an herbalist.
So who brought up the king?
They are the ones.
Who brought it up? Who brought it up first?
They did.
And what did you say? Exactly, in your
They
exact
asked about
words.
Nyla. They asked about Nyla, they asked about things that they had heard. All I said was that the king made his decision based on keeping our bloodlines pure.
Why didn't they ask us yesterday? Why they suddenly ask you about it? Why they don't know you really?
Perhaps because I saved their Lord Steward's life? Perhaps because they do feel more comfortable around me? Perhaps because they do know me more than they know you, or any of you here?
And see, you've quoted them, and then you've quoted yourself, but in both of those quotes, the king wasn't mentioned. So, who brought it up first, and what did they say?
As I said, they asked about keeping bloodlines pure. Or rather, they asked about the union that was happening here, and the former queen and such. And I said it was to keep bloodlines pure.
That still doesn't bring up the
Whatever
former
out
king.
there.
Who brought it up
Let me
first?
speak then.
See, I have her cornered.
And
She
whatever
brought it up
out there
first.
Claimed and said that their bloodlines were not even of the original royal. And I said it did not matter, they were royals now. Then one of them said, yes, I heard that you had a king before. One of the humans.
And what did you say in response to that?
It's done. It doesn't matter. I
No,
sit
it
the
does not
throne
matter,
now.
because if I
This
choose
former
to tell
king.
them about a former king, I am allowed to, and I have every right.
You should have done it in a time where it was more prudent. You have caused them to worry
There's a
about the
time for it when it
integrity.
is prudent.
Let me speak. You have caused them to worry about the integrity of our people, that there may be a rebellion or a civil war. Do you understand why bringing that up now and answering the questions instead of being elusive and not answering causes dissent?
They worry about our integrity in the war when they stand outside our stables and listen to you cackle to yourself. When they stand outside our infirmary and hear you talk in the shadows.
Do you have a problem with me as king, then?
I have already stated many a times, and I will not say it once more past this. I have no issue with you on that throne, and I have no intentions of seeing anyone else on it for the time being.
You walk a thin line. Remember that.
For the
So
time
do you.
being.
Are you challenging the king?
I am reminding him that I am the reason that he sits on that throne.
Then accept
You are the
him.
reason. I remember more people there. It wasn't
Calamar,
just you.
Phelan,
Don't
Asteria,
act like it was just you that put
No,
me here.
but Halamar
I was
would have
put
voted
here
with me.
because no one else wanted it. I didn't want it. I don't want it. But here I sit, and here I deal with all the problems that come in.
You were
Because
put there
that
because I
is the
did not want
burden
it. Do
that
not
was
get it
placed
wrong.
upon my shoulder. Do not talk over me. That is what was given to me, and that is what I am dealing with. Don't presume that you did something that caused something. You were a part of it, yes. You could have taken this throne as readily as I, because I didn't want it either. Yet here I sit, and I deal with all of the problems, because in the end, my word is the final word. My word is law. Remember that.
I simply said, as I said before you decided to shout, I was trying to remind you that I am the reason you sit on that. And you were right, I readily could have taken it even before you did.
In the end, it doesn't matter. It is the past, and the vote was done.
Exactly.
Then it's time that you show the king the respect he deserves.
He has received my respect up until he has acted mad with emotions. And should he
Do
return
you know
to
what
his former
grief
state,
is,
I will
girl?
be fine. I am understanding of grief, and do not speak to me about grief.
Then
But
you should
decisions should
understand
not be
exactly
made in grief.
why I felt the way
You
I
should
did.
have waited. I am fine with you feeling the way you did. I have no issue with that. I have issue with you making laws and commands and speaking of ill things during your grief.
What
Because
ill
you are
thing
Canaan.
have I said? Oh,
Marching into
I said
Mordor,
we're...
removing our
How is that an
forces
ill
from the
thing?
war.
I meant
Because
not
it's
to remove our
unnecessary
forces from the war. I mean to weaken an enemy that potentially can threaten us regardless of if we win or lose. If we play on the back foot, we will lose. That
You
is the
made
way
those
I
two
see it.
statements at different times. You did not make them
Don't
together.
presume to twist my words.
I am not twisting your words. You are matching them together. I'm saying that you made those statements.
No, I made the statement that we would march on Mordor. I did not
Yes.
make any elaborations. You should not make assumptions from what I say. I will elaborate
I am not.
when I
the
feel it is
stallion
necessary.
was there. He heard you say, I will not send my people to die. And then later on, you said, we should march to Mordor.
I don't intend to die in Mordor. I intend to win.
That's fine.
My king, we will not win.
Exactly.
And you know this. You've asked my council many times on our strength. And every time you asked about our defenses, I said we would lose. Sending all of our supplies and troops into Mordor is suicide.
I do agree with Nostalgian. I honestly think, in my judgment, we should focus on the humans, helping them defend the wall and beat the orcs back.
That been saying.
I would advise you, my king, not to march to Mordor.
We understand that you're grieving for the decisions that were made the night before. You elected us as your entrusted council. We did swear an oath to aid you in that, to ensure the safety and prevalence of this realm, this kingdom, and our elvish race. That is all we're trying to do. We understand your pain, but you must understand,
See your pain.
you are the king. You are held above all of us. Any mistakes, any irrationalities, anything at all is spectated because you are the king. I know it's hard to say this, but you need to be mistake-free. Anger makes
So
us
you
do
would have me
irrational
be an
things.
automaton?
I would
One who
ask
moves
you-
without emotion and without thought?
No, please,
Of course
listen.
not.
I would ask you to just do what you do best. Think. Take the time.
You're the wisest of all of us. We follow your lead. If you send us to Mordor, I will stand in the first line, and you know that, my king. And still, I do think at this point it wouldn't be the right decision.
Fine. Are there any other matters which should be brought before the council, starting from my right and going around the table?
That's you, Nestallion.
No.
Eos.
Amara was told to breed some beavers, and she's been having some luck with that. I'm gonna see if we can't get them saddled as well for whatever plans our general has. That way they have some armoring.
Good. I believe Div is awake. Or Dane. I don't remember which one. There's at least one awake. They should be able to do that, but I do believe we have training today. Is that all?
Yes.
Arundel?
I said everything I had to say.
Celeria?
A peace has been made.
The final thing I will say before we go about leaving this place. We must appear as a whole. We cannot have dissent among us, or the common people will worry and speculate as to what it is. You can be yourselves, but you need to be approachable, I guess is the word, to the common folk. They need to know that they can approach you with their problems, and that you're not going to be aloof or looking down on them. Do you understand?
Of course.
Yes.
If there are no other matters to speak of, the council is adjourned.
Whew, that was intense.